the second last basketball show of the year is upon us. Second last? Yeah, I think we agreed on that. Ben Mallis to the right of me. How are you, Ben?
I'm good. We survived the BackChat Christmas party.
We did, yes. Huge afternoon last Saturday. What a treat. Invited everyone. You came along. Kerrod, our producer, came along. No Greg.
No, well, there's no Greg here at the moment, so...
There's no here. Kerrod, if you could just show the people that camera there. Greg, not here. Running a little bit late. A work emergency.
He will make a dramatic entrance as always,
yes,
though.
He will be coming
hear his voice soon, we hope.
That's right. I think there was maybe a plumbing emergency or... I don't know. Who knows what sort of emergency, but there was something he had to sort out that only Greg could do. But that's fine. We are here now. BackChat_basketball on Instagram. This is the best place to get in contact with us. Or you could email hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. Episode every Wednesday afternoon/evening, except for 1 week in the middle because... with our BackChat show, we're having about a month off, but with this show, basketball just doesn't stop.
No, it's very rude of it, isn't it? Over summertime.
I know.
We don't get a break, but we will have 1 week off.
Yes, that's right.
Recharge, watch lots of basketball, and
exactly.
The best part is when we come back, we'll have the Boxing Day games to discuss.
That's right.
The NBL will be kicking into gear, and it's really going to get going in the new year, so I can't wait.
And you'll be going to Melbourne as well.
I am.
Yeah, when I say we... mainly you are spreading out across the country, and you'll be you'll be beaming in live.
I will. The beam will be up, and I'll be the BackChat correspondent from Melbourne. So
that's right.
You're actually going over a couple of weeks before me, though, to go and see Sir Dirk in the flesh, aren't you?
The Goat Father. He will be there. Him and I just hanging out. I've booked... he's there for one night. I booked 5 just in case there's time for, hanging out a fair bit.
Did you book a spare room in your apartment for him to come and spend the night?
That's right, yeah. I'm sure... Actually, no, I'm staying with a friend, so I'll have to ask my friend if he's allowed to
go live on the street for a couple of days.
Come too? Oh, boy. There was a game today. Well, there was a few games today. One wasn't great. The Golden State Warriors v. Who did they play? I'm going completely blank.
They played the Bucks. It
was
good for my MVP pick.
It was good for your MVP pick. Giannis was on something else. One thing I do want to take from that, it was a bit of a boring game, a bit of a nothing game, but Draymond got a fan kicked out of the stadium. I feel like it's not the first time Draymond's done that as well, but apparently what I read later is that the person was making threats to his life, to Draymond's life. And so Draymond calls the referee over, points to a guy, and the security escort him out. So
interesting. The Milwaukee fans can be pretty rowdy. I've had the pleasure of getting to Milwaukee. They're good fans sometimes and a bit over the top others. So there must have been something in the water in Milwaukee today because I saw Steph Curry going nuts. Yep. Steve Kerr got a technical foul as well. I think the Warriors had 5 techs and they got blown out. So
they were not happy.
Charles Barkley, I don't think they'll be going back to Milwaukee anytime soon.
Yeah, you know that meme where there's like the 2 girls and one of them's pointing really angrily and the other picture is the cat? The 2 girls like pointing angrily, I feel like is a perfect embodiment of Steve Kerr and Steph Curry today. They were just very angry, and to be honest, I didn't watch that part of the game, so I'm not sure what they're upset about. I think he thought he got fouled on a 3 or something, but that's what happens.
Maybe it was the Milwaukee weather. It can get cold in that place, and coming from San Francisco, no offense to my Bucks friends out there, but it's not a place you want to spend a lot of time.
No. The NBA announced today or overnight that the awards that they hand out at the end of the year will be given cute little names. So no longer is it just the MVP, the Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year, and the Most Improved. Now they've all got, cute names. So MVP, the Michael Jordan Trophy, seems...
That one makes sense.
Yeah, that sort of makes sense.
He's going to name a trophy after the best player of all time. The MVP one makes sense.
Yes, that's
Some of these that we're going to go through, like the last one on our list here.
Yes, but we haven't announced. I haven't said that there is one more new award that will be in there as well, but we'll get to that at the end. The Defensive Player of the Year will now be called the Hakeem Olajuwon Trophy.
Again, makes sense. I think he's the best defender that doesn't have a name or award after his name already. Yep. Bill Russell has his. Tim Duncan's probably too fresh out of the game to get
that was
something.
The argument with I think he's had more all defensive team nominations, Tim Duncan over Hakeem, but Hakeem is a legacy name,
and I think too Hakeem has a sexier, for lack of a better term, name in basketball circles. Tim Duncan probably had a better career, but he's not held up in such esteem, is he? After spending 20 years in San Antonio under a team that we know doesn't like to do fun things from the outside.
No, just Mr. Stable could be, if there's like a stable guy award, maybe we could name that Tim Duncan award. Rookie of the Year, Wilt Chamberlain trophy. I don't really have any strong thoughts about this one, but
see, either did I. I'm going to look this up now. Until I had a look at his rookie stats when he was a rookie, he averaged I'll get this up now, 30 and 27.
Okay.
Or something as a rookie.
Yeah, I think that was when there was no 3 in the key.
No, and he played all 48 minutes, and what did he played 46 minutes per game.
Yep.
Averaged 37 points a game and 27 rebounds a game.
Oh my gosh.
So look, fair play. That was in 1960, different time with a different shot clock and the like, but they're pretty decent stats, aren't they?
Yeah, they were decent stats, but still I wonder how that would translate to today's game. I mean, I'm not sure he'd have the same absolute dominance, but sure, you can only name something after an award that you have the stats for, and we have the stats for that. You can't take that away from him. The sixth man of the year. Sorry, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, I think with these awards now, we're getting to the point where the NBA had a list of names they wanted to attach to awards.
Exactly.
And they just shoehorned it in. Like, I'll steal your thunder here, the sixth man of the year with John Havlicek.
Yep.
Great player, had a tremendous career coming off the bench. But you kind of just get the feeling, don't you, that the NBA just wanted to shoehorn his name into an award?
Yes. When I think of sixth man of the year, I think of like Jamal Crawford, Manu Ginobili. I know these are newer names, but they would have. But John, I don't know. It's like you said. I think they're just trying to.
Manu was the one for me, right? Because he played in this era where he actually had to sacrifice and come off the bench.
Yes, he could have started on any team.
Like, no offense to Havlicek, but in the 60s, the 70s, the 80s. The league wasn't as deep, so you had better players coming off the bench.
That's right.
Where Manu actually took the sacrifice, put his side first, and came off the bench.
Yep, that's right. You might be hearing a garage door slowly rise. That is Greg Heyer coming in. It is Greg. There we go. I can see through a bit of the curtain. So that's the sixth man of the year of the award. We'll just keep talking while he gets himself set up there. Hello, Greg. How are you?
Mate.
Yeah,
Hello.
very good. We're just talking through the new basketball awards that the NBA is putting out and how they've attached some names to them. So we've gone through them all. MVP, Michael Jordan Trophy, Defensive Player of the Year, Hakeem Olajuwon, Rookie of the Year, Wilt Chamberlain, Sixth Man of the Year, John Havlicek. Most Improved, George Mikan.
George Mikan, like the Lakers guy that wore the glasses.
Yeah. It's a deep cut.
He is now. They've now named the Most Improved Player of the Year award after him. So, again, there must have been some crazy jump in his stats, maybe, Ben, that you could give us a reason why he's
Basketball Reference can answer this.
Yeah,
but it's such a weird award, Most Improved.
It is.
It's so arbitrary in terms of who gets. He averaged 28 and 11 as a rookie.
Okay. So
he averaged 45 and 20. And
he must have.
So he actually averaged the most points of his career as a rookie.
And he went downhill from there. So he's most improved. There's
Maybe
got to be a
ironic
reason for
selection.
that. Someone who knows it's not us. Now, this is the last new award, the Clutch Player of the Year.
Oh, wow.
Are you just hearing this for the first time?
Yeah, I saw the Jordan one.
Yes.
Because there was a lot of which I'm obviously not opposed for. Like, I love it, but I was like, all the LeBron lovers and stuff, they're going to be up in arms regarding this. And but no, that's
there you go. So new Clutch Player, Jerry West Trophy.
I feel like this is like we're just handing out awards for everything.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, I think it's enticing. What do you know what you're getting? Like
the award? It's
Yeah.
like a glass. It looks like a big
clock.
whiskey glass.
Okay, well, if it's got whiskey,
It's like
in
a
it,
really, it's like a really tall whiskey glass with a gold
well,
little
that's
thing on
fair.
it.
But
the trophy, I don't know if the trophy makes it. To be honest, I think it's more the
well,
honors.
if it's tangible and you can use it, I'd be all for it.
Yeah, if you could drink out of it, sure.
Yeah.
I don't think you can. So they're the new award names. One thing that I did see, like, I wonder if they could ever change these now because,
No.
right? So, like, could there be a LeBron? Like, are they just gonna have to shoehorn LeBron an award in like 20 years time?
Of the year. The guy that crumbles in playoffs awards, the most overrated player award. Yes.
Overrated.
Oh, I sense there's an
Jeez.
agenda coming from Greg here.
Doesn't like LeBron, although JJ Barea did shut him down in the 2000
There you go, see?
finals. So there is that. So they're the new awards. Anything else?
So
Greg?
who can we say who's going to win it?
Sure, let's go through now. So MVP, probably Giannis, given that their team record
You've
is
gone
there.
off at Luka.
Well, his team's not bringing the goods.
The team's not good enough.
Team's not good enough. You need to have a good record.
Okay,
And Giannis is better.
So I'm going to say Jason Tatum.
Yep, he is potentially.
Maybe.
I reckon it's a 1, 2, 3 between
like
these.
He'll get it though, because there's so many Boston media-centric
That's
people that vote on the award.
Yeah, and I feel like it's like Nurkic, so Jokic, not Nurkic. He's
Also,
but Jokic, like it's like he has to like some time it goes nuts, like another level. Where I think like Tatum's like an up and coming star, and if they get the NBA best record, there you go.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. Well, defensive player of the year,
Giannis.
Giannis.
Yeah, I think so as well. Giannis.
Yep. Has he done the double yet?
He did it the second time he won MVP. Yeah, he
There you
won
go.
both.
Yep. There's no.
Paul Banchero.
Nice pronunciation. I can never get that one right.
Oh, yeah. Or
Yep, for rookie of the year.
Yeah.
Yep,
or
not
it's,
defensive. Yep.
No, for rookie for the Wilt Chamberlain Trophy.
Yeah, the Wilt Chamberlain. I tell you what, I'm not calling him by these names.
Benedict, what's his
Matherin?
Cumberbatch.
Yeah, Cumberbatch. He's Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Okay, and then...
Six man's intriguing.
Do you want to know the funniest thing about six man? I've got the odds up here.
Okay,
Guess
good.
who's favourite for six man of the year?
Bet, obviously.
Yes.
Yes, I'll say Blue Bet.
Six man, no idea. No.
No, because Jordan Poole was up there, but like, yeah, who
I think overrated on a bad team.
Overrated on a bad team.
Not Russell Westbrook.
Russell Westbrook is indeed
yes.
the favourite for six man of the year at $2.80,
There we go.
Wow.
which is incredible because
Okay.
Russell should not be winning any awards this year.
Oh, look at this agenda.
Yeah. A LeBron hater and a
I'll have a
Westbrook
bet
hater.
about. We'll have a talk after this
Okay.
about my multi that I had last year. I was
Okay.
definitely going to be a shoo-in, but yeah, go
Great. Most improved.
Shea Gildress.
ahead.
Yeah. But I don't know if he was like
Yeah.
bad enough last season.
Yeah,
to
like
make
Ball is one. Like he's having a
Yeah,
solid
he's
year.
very
Like,
good.
but he did nothing. So it's like,
Halliburton's doing well, leading the league in assists with the Pacers as well.
but it's like when you're already like a bona fide stud. It's like Ja Morant won it last year, right? And I find that so weird. Like where
But what do you think's harder, going from reserve player to role
being
player,
a bona fide
or going from like
superstar.
starter to like top 5 MVP? Because that's what Morant did last year. He was fringe all star and went to like MVP contention. That's a big jump.
I'm just going to jump straight to clutch player of the year.
Damian Lillard.
Well, early he was.
Yeah.
It's such a bad award.
know.
They were just. I heard on another podcast they were discussing whether or not it could be a defensive.
Why are you listening to other podcasts?
I feel my
How
time
dare
with
you?
something.
Yeah.
Is like, could they be a defensive clutch player? So
Yeah.
someone who always guards the best player at the end.
But even
That-
poor Jerry West, he's been the logo for so long. So what's the bet? They changed the logo to Kobe now, and poor Jerry West is going to get
You think
stitched
that's
up.
the agenda?
Well, how can he be have an award name and be the logo? I don't think the NBA would want him having
Ooh,
both,
Conspiracy theorist Ben.
which is a
Okay.
bit of a downgrade, I think, going from the logo to Clutch Player of the Year award.
Okay.
Oh, it absolutely. Is.
I wouldn't be opposed to Kobe being the logo.
Or Dirk with a fadeaway.
Yeah, more iconic move.
Well, that's
to
the
be
one LeBron
honest.
might have his eyes on. He's like, oh, get me out of this league and make me the logo.
Yeah. Let's. There was one other NBA thing I wanted to talk about, but maybe I've forgotten about it. That's okay. Should we talk about some NBL? Because you guys had a big moment last week. What day was it?
Yeah.
Friday. No, Monday. It was on
Monday.
Monday.
Yeah,
It's 2 days
Brisbane
ago.
lost again.
Who?
That was the big moment you're
Who
talking
did?
about, right? Brisbane.
Brisbane lost again. Yeah, of
And their
course.
coach got sent free.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go straight to Perth because we're here,
Wowzers.
and probably the wildest finish, one of the wildest finish I've ever seen on TV. But you guys are actually there in the arena.
And I saw you go and sit so down by the sidelines.
Oh, it was. I had the pleasure of being sideline commentator or expert analysis, whatever it may be on the broadcast, and
Expert. Yep.
unreal. Like, I remembered going to the huddle at like 45 seconds to the Wildcats and like looking, and like I think they made a couple of subs. Mitch Norton was not a happy man. Like Todd Blanchard was not. It was like sort of like, yeah, we've lost, and this is going to really create some significant inroads into our season. To then like obviously Bryce hits that 3, and I'm like, yeah, well, it's a 5-point game. Like still nothing. Yep. To then being in the headset, and they're like, who do you got? Like we've got 2 interviews. Player, who's your Foot Locker player of the game? And I'm like debating because I'm like, oh, I reckon Shea Ely, like, Moss not on the board. He's made some massive plays, but they're going XRM. So we're like, okay, 2 guys. I'm like 2-3 things I'll ask him, no dramas. To then being there where like Todd hits that shot, and I'm like, okay, I'm walking back thinking there's no chance in the world that they could make this comeback, to then the ball going up to being on the headset like, change your MVP, like Corey Webster is the Foot Locker player. It was I've obviously been a part of a number of wild games, but in that context, I don't think I've ever been involved or seen or been there. Like, there's been dumb plays. Bryce Cotton fouling someone on a 3-point shot in Cairns.
Oh my gosh!
Like,
and you're shooting from like halfway,
right? Yeah,
from half court. Yeah.
Correct. Like, dumb, but like we still won. There's nothing in a moment like that for like Cedric Jackson hitting a 3-quarter court shot. Like, that was literally like Tracy McGrady style, where the most boneheaded players I've ever seen. Like, and I just sat there in utter disbelief. I had the pleasure of dropping off my children the next morning and saw Jesse Wagstaff drop off his daughter, and I just looked and I was like, "Can you believe it? You won?" He's like, "Nah." And he's like, "Winning is so much better than losing."
Yeah.
So it's nuts.
Let's go. So obviously, everyone would have seen the final shot, but it didn't start there because Travers makes a very clutch play. Like, it's
Luke Travers' second half, and I sometimes there's this bias that comes aside because I said some outlandish tweet 2 years ago saying that LT was better than Josh Giddey and Mojave King.
Okay, still outlandish.
Way better than he's better than Mojave King. Not good as Josh Giddey, but hey, there's another individual that pumps up people's tires, and I just wanted to get some positive spin on him, and it worked. So there you go. But go on, yes.
Yeah. So and sidebar, was this the game that the Cavs GM was in town?
He was delayed though, so he missed the flight. He thought,
did he?
Yeah. So he wasn't there on Monday. He'll be there on Friday. He was supposed to arrive in at 3:00, and the flight was delayed. When did he ever think that was like he was going to get there in time?
Arrive at 3, like.
And then go straight there.
to the game.
Like, it's an international flight.
So welcome to Qantas.
Oh, like even when I got told that, I was like, he didn't want to miss the last 2 Cavs games, so he like left straight. I was like, that was never going to happen.
Right. So I thought he was going to be in attendance, and Travers' first half, I was thinking, bad first half to show you show your other
I would have
boss.
had a better opportunity of getting a gig in the first half. I was like, the second half was unreal.
Second half. So is that probably the first play we should start with in terms of the little mini comeback? Well, not mini comeback, the comeback. So there was an inbound play.
Yep.
Luke Travers is not guarding the man on the ball. He's guarding the guy who's about to receive the ball and gets a clutch steal. Runs down the court, dunk. And you're like, oh, yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
And then what happened next? You got it in front of you, Ben.
I do. It was just bad from Melbourne, wasn't it? You can go through all of this. That while that was a great play from Travers, like, that should not be happening. You should not getting that turnover.
No.
And that pass from XRM, it's funny, it's got bad pass here on the notes. It was just a bad pass.
If you're going to turn it over, eat it. Get a 5-second call.
Or throw it into the corner.
Yeah, correct. Like, eat it. Even absorb it. Like, why? Yeah. Horrible.
But even, like, again, we'll get to it now, but like fouling Blanchfield, again, like, all you have to do is keep your hands down and not contest that shot. And nothing bad can happen.
But did it not go Bryce Cotton 3?
Then Goulding makes 2. No, so yeah, Cotton made the 3, and then the Travers turnover.
Yeah, he missed the thing. Shayley, Bryce Cotton, Todd Blanchfield fouled. And then...
Yeah, at the end. So Goulding made 2 free throws. They were up 5 with 8 seconds left.
Yeah.
And then they fouled Blanchfield for whatever reason on that 3-point shot.
And that was they didn't give him a space to land, right?
Yeah, correct.
So came into contest, didn't give him space to land, so then 4-point play opportunity.
And I don't even think he purposely missed it.
No, so that was... I went back and watched it because I didn't look at it live.
He didn't even move.
It just came right to him.
So he launches the 3, goes down the 4-point play opportunity, and immediately they're all looking to John. They're saying, "What do we?
Yeah, I was on the sideline trying to like."
So did you hear? Did John say to miss?
He didn't say miss. Like and Bryce was there just like I think as like the outlet pass. There certainly wasn't like I'm pretty sure they were all expecting a timeout and then we'll foul and then we'll have another opportunity. Like he. Like usually, and there's like usually a call, like when we would have it, would be like not saying, hey, miss it, like black. Like It seemed too good of a shot to miss.
It did, but there was so much time left too. There was 7 seconds left.
So yeah, exactly.
There's no way they would have missed that.
And what you can do as well in that situation, just similar to what Dean Vickham was saying in the Chris Goulding was saying, do not play for the foul. Like refs are so like, oh well, this is exciting. Like we want
to get involved.
It was hilarious. Like go back like that whole play, and then obviously XRM not boxing out like the cardinal sin of like not boxing out the free for a guy, but like Todd literally like the ball, he didn't even take a step. The ball lands in his hands. He's like, okay. Two things that are super comical about how this all finished up. One, interviewed Corey straight after the game, and I was like, mate, talk to me about this. Like, how do you feel? And he's like, to be completely honest, when I made the shot, I didn't know we were in the lead. He didn't even know that they were down 2. He thought they were going overtime. So I was like, geez, maths definitely isn't his strong suit. And I said that. He didn't. He clearly English, because he just was looking at me like, okay, I'm not sure what you're saying. But as I walked off, Michael Aylen, the referee, who I've got like really good, strong relationship with, and like it's easy.
Did he give you a wink? Go there, you go, Greg.
Quality he literally, they were like laughing, and Aylen was like, you couldn't have not scripted it any better way. Like, that is crazy. And I was like, as a referee, but it was like,
Melbourne fans would not be happy.
No, but like as a ref, it wasn't in his hands. It's like not like he made poor decisions. Like every single, not one part. Like you could go, like the turnover or like there was a dubious call. You know, like sometimes we've been on the lucky end of that, right? Like fortunate and he would just walked out going like, wow, what a crazy end. Like 8 points, or I mean 6 points in 8 seconds. Like
wild.
11 in 45.
It was incredible.
Quick maths. You're scoring 140 a quarter if you're on those ratios. Like,
it really was a PhD from United, wasn't it? Had to throw a game away, and it just leaves me asking now: are the Wildcats good? I don't.
I look at it and I go like, I mean, Melbourne like just lost to Illawarra, and so like Melbourne play really well. Like their form against the Wildcats.
They won the last 7 in Perth.
That's crazy. When that was said, I was like, well, clearly because I haven't played in 3 years. So,
that's 7 games.
Never happened. But like Isaac Humphries and Chris Goulding and that, but like I think this is like, it seems like a broken record every week. I say, this week like New Zealand's a pretty good test, and I'm always like, very good. Momentum is an incredible thing, and now you're already seeing like Corey Webster's playing really good basketball, which they needed at the start of the year.
They seem happy.
Yeah, Bryce is, but there's still like a lot of question marks around. I look at like Mitch Norton and Todd Blanchfield, who are critical pieces. Like for me, Nordo isn't given an opportunity to show what he really needs to do. Like his presence isn't on the offensive end, never has been.
Yep.
So like let him be a bull terrier. Like let him dive on a few loose balls like that. But they're not doing that, and I think that's where you go. Like they're playing great basketball, but can Corey Webster sustain it? And even like Manick and Thomas, and then you go. This is the thing. If LT plays how he did in the second half, they'll win a championship. I'll say that. That's easy done. Like he had 0 points, 1 rebound. No, 2, maybe 2. 1 rebound, 1 assist at halftime.
Yep.
He ends with 11 points, 6 boards, 4 assists, 3 steals, and a block.
Yeah, a very clutch steal as well.
Yeah.
And steals, deflections, like his activity, like he changed it, and massive. I think he made an incredible like pass to someone streaming down transition, maybe Majock or someone, like a coast-to-coast layup.
Yep.
Again, quick maths in a half. If he does that again, he's averaging 22 and 12. That's pretty good, So
per 36, but not 36.
Tell Riley's just said screw it. He's got his best player starting the game now. There's no more playing around with getting good players off the bench. He's clearly just gone to his best 5.
Yep.
But I've got to be honest, the back end of this roster does not look like it's up
a
to
lot
standard.
A lot of away games.
They're going to have to rely on their core players playing 35 minutes a night to win big playoff games, and I don't think that's sustainable.
And that's what I'm saying. Like you've beaten. So this is where you got to go. Like now, this like next crook pace. You've beat Adelaide, who like they've been all teams that are at bottom of the ladder, and bar the New Zealand game. But again, that took a Corey Webster like incredible effort. Now, if they can continue to do it, there's no doubt. But they still need you need a Thomas and a Manick to start giving you something more. And you're right, because that depth is an issue.
Yep. All right. Let's go going. I want to talk about the Sydney Kings coach, Chase Buford. Now,
I love this.
You love it? Okay. So I'm going to, you don't have headphones in, but you are very clear on what he says, as is Ben. Kerrod, if you could just play, this is from the press conference after they lost to the Tasmania Jack Jumpers earlier this Sunday or something?
Sunday was the loss.
Yeah.
So it would have been straight after the game, right?
Yeah.
So
All right.
Yeah, honestly, I haven't watched a ton, so I can't tell you about their season very much.
Pretty impressive what you saw tonight, though.
Sure. I mean, yeah, they were good. Again, like they could have made some more shots and they probably would have been better. But like, I'm way more disappointed with us than I am impressed with them right now.
He just finished there. I'm way more disappointed with us than I am impressed with them. So there was a journo there, Brent Costello, who asks, what do you think of the Tassie Jumpers? What have you thought of them this season? And he says, I haven't watched a ton, so I can't tell you about their season very much. Like, just gave him donuts. What are your thoughts? Because I'll just fire quickly. It seems just like a bit of a bit of a dick thing to say. You don't need to. I understand the sentiment, but all it sounds like is that you're a head coach of a basketball team and you haven't been watching your opponent. Yeah,
it's one, he's lying. He's definitely watching the clip. I think, look, in saying that, he's an emotional guy and he wears his heart on his sleeve. I don't as a coach, do I look at that and go, I don't, it's a dick move, no doubt. It's not who we are as people. But in saying that, for me, it's the Sydney Kings play this Hill card well. Let everyone continue hating on you, in that way. I love that. He's happy enough to do that. He's not trying to get mates in that regard. They're very insular, even to what they're... You can see this, even what they did during the week with their player announcement. They leaked it to Olgun about some Christmas Day signing, and then... you could see the comments, people were up in arms, Sydney Kings, you guys are the flogs. And even that, I was man, what is going on? I'm intrigued by the signing, and then for it to be a Santa thing. And I actually thought, well played. But that's clever. Again, cool. It's people were you guys are wankers, and that's the card they deal. Obviously, a little bit of saltiness, in that way. Yeah. What I would have, it's always in that way, and which is always a thing more compelling, is why was there not a player there? In that setting, remove all the players and then let the coaches go full hell for leather and let them do that. Because I always think it's really awkward. Players are in there and they've got to be subdued, in that regard. Yeah. But what I felt was what I liked more was just the little bait by Brent Costello. I think he gave him something and then went, and then he obviously tweeted it this is my response.
He knew what he had there.
Yeah. And I was because Tassie and Sydney have this, obviously the grand final, but they actually have this little animosity social media wise where they go on at each other. So, right. Pardon me, I actually, pardon me. Don't mind it. Okay. Not the response I would have given, but yeah. Yep.
See, I love it. I love the response.
You would too. I've been carrying water for the Sydney Kings for years.
That's right. Paul Smith and me go way back.
You love him, don't you?
I do, but I love the confidence, and he doesn't care what Tasmania do, because he knows deep down if Sydney play their best, they're beating Tasmania every week. Though? They are. Okay. I think so. If they
I still think there's question marks on that lineup.
See, I don't trust Tassie to get back to the grand final this year.
Yeah.
And if it comes down to it, I think Sydney has got their number covered. And I agree, there's a bit of a rivalry going here. Yeah. But until Tassie beats Sydney in the playoffs, I don't think... I have to see it before I believe it. So circling back to this, I just like it, what he was saying. And he's probably telling a bit of a fib. I'm sure he's watched some.
But watched hours of
I'm going to call Fleur McIntyre straight after this, who's the assistant coach, and I'm going to say... How much film has he watched? If every coach, so.
Yeah, but you know what coaches are like. They watch for the opposition, but they're focusing on their team, their process, their system and the like. So again...
He loves fish and chips.
Yeah. Don't be friends. Just go out there, win games and have some banter.
What this is showing, though, and if the Wildcats had this year and any other year, they would be down at the bottom of the table and there is nothing done. The parity of the league is quite unique. Not one team, even when you look at that, I still go... Yep, absolutely stacked Sydney team. If they play their best, you've got Dejan Vasiljevic, who's an absolute stud, who currently is just a little bit down on what he's currently playing at, and Xavier Cooks is an absolute beast, and Derek Walton, all these guys, and I go, but Team Suarez is the issue. If they had Jarrell Martin, I'm $1.02 a blue bet, put that on. You're going. And that's the thing. There hasn't been compared to any other year. There's always been two clubs that have pinched them away, and you're high likelihood. Yeah. Even last year, Melbourne United were going to make the finals with Sydney, right? And Tassie going a bit of a Cinderella story. Helps that Chris Goulding gets hurt in that last game, but whatever, right? this like year is very unique where that even now, Wildcats, and because they're playing 6, but Adelaide, like, it's only 2. Like, look at what the Wildcats were, and now, like, they could be jumping in, and Cairns are on fire, and then now people are like, I don't believe them. Like, it's which is good for the league, right?
Yeah, it's all up and down. Let's go one last thing before we have to quickly finish up. There was quite a strange... Donuts?
This is what happens when South East Melbourne score 100. They get donuts.
Right.
So there's a little bit of backstory to this.
All right. So, so there was an interesting press release that was released, I guess, as they do, by the South East Melbourne Phoenix. Ben, you got it. You're on that sort of mailing list as a media member of the NBL. Do you want to just read out... it was one of the most odd things I've seen. If you want to read out just like one paragraph of it.
It's up there for the craziest press release you'll ever see. So I think this is my favourite paragraph from it. Most of the noise around the Phoenix from the external media, emphasis on external, screams doubt. And here's a quote: their bench does not produce enough energy, their defence is suspect, and they haven't been tested by the good sides yet. The loudest voices point to the team's defence and how it hasn't improved in 3 years, which is simply an incorrect and lazy analysis. Now, that is something you'd expect to hear from a 12-year-old on Twitter.
Hold on. I've completely... When I saw South East Melbourne, I thought we were talking about Simon Mitchell's presser where he was talking about we're going to play till the end.
This came out on their letterhead from their media and PR team. They wrote that.
Yeah.
What for? What's the context?
Because they wanted to silence the doubters.
Was that the title of the press release?
Yeah, silencing the doubters.
So they just thought, you know what, we're feeling a bit disrespected by everyone. Let's write up like a big FU to everyone else and just release it. And
when did press releases become opinion pieces?
Yeah, that's why it's just so strange. Like,
it's so bad.
I was saying to Ben before, every press release I wrote when I was at the Wildcats was like, Greg High will be available for media at 11 o'clock and at Basketball Centre.
Big news.
Or like, you know, a new signing and pump up the signing a little bit. Or, I don't know, like an event.
Perth Wildcats break membership record. Yeah.
But not like, you know what, I'm sick of everyone. It was so strange. But maybe we'll chuck a little bit up on our social media channels, which is backchat_basketball on Instagram. And again, you can email us hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. Now, this is our second last episode. Next week, Ben won't be here, but you will be here. It'll be you and me and one other person trying for potentially speak to Mitch Norton because he just come off the back of 300 games.
Done. We'll get him.
And he started following me on Instagram, so I sent him a text, and so we'll get that.
You do know I know him. Like,
do you know him?
Yeah.
Did you play with him? Oh, okay. Well, you know, it might be a case that you're not even here, so who knows?
No, I'll be here. It might be late, but I'll be here.
That's a good way to finish this. One more episode of the year, and then we'll be back.
Done.
Easy.